I am inevitable.
Oh, yeah. This is another Khaos Central production. It's your boy Comic Chat with another fire intro. Rule of 3 is the name of the show, and I made it here for my main man, Mr. Chris Knight. I hope you like it, bro. So here we go. Well, the Rule of 3 is the name of the show. It stars Chris Knight, Comic Chat, and Nzo. Third Monday of the month at 9 o'clock, so don't be late, cause that's when the fun starts. We talk about this, we talk about that. 5 questions, decide fiction or is it fact? Recaps that all came together like Run DMC. We're tougher than leather, so grab a seat, strap on in. The Rule of 3 is about to begin, so let's go. Rule of 3 is a show, Khaos Central is the channel. It stars me, Chris Knight, and Nzo. 3 casts with one singular vision to make this channel the best channel on YouTube, the best channel on the planet. Peace.
Is there any stuff?
What is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight. This is the Rule of 3 on Khaos Central, and we got the regular suspects here. We have Biggaford Entertainment, Nzo, of course, and Comic Chat, Danny. And sorry about last night. I had to be up at, I was up at 2 a.m. this morning. That's all right. That's fun times. All right, so we're going to do this tonight. It's a little different how we're going to do it. We're still going to adhere to the 3 minutes, but we're going to be ranking the 9 MCU Disney Plus TV series. Now, Werewolf by Night is not on here, but if the gentleman would like to add it someplace, they're more than welcome to do so. Dandelion, how you doing? Everybody who might be watching right now, guys, we have a tweet out, so please tweet this out. Let's get some people, or X this out. I don't know. What the hell is it even called anymore?
Please tweet this out.
X.
It's
X now.
Yeah.
Weird.
That.
Okay.
And it's still twitter.com though, because he can't get X because Microsoft owns the trademark to X.
Right.
So now he's going to get a lawsuit. This is fun times, isn't it? Gotta love people who have way too much money.
You know.
Anyways, let's go around and talk to the gentleman, see what they got going on here. Nzo, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? Biggaford Entertainment. Tonight I was supposed to do the Walking Dead season finale, but since we had to do this, we'll do that on Thursday. Tomorrow night will be the OOC, and other than that, we'll be here doing our thing.
Indeed. Danny.
What up? It's your boy Comic Chat. You can find me on this show on Monday nights when we do it, and you can also find me on Nzo's show sometime from time to time, OOC. Guys Scar show a little bit before that is the Hangout. Sunday will be our last roundtable of Secret Invasion. Then on Sunday nights I do Rob Storm's Live. Then every Monday through Friday I try to do a encouragement series, and I do a word, a quote, in the script of the day. And tomorrow I'll be back at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with another word of the day. So tune in if you can.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap up the Secret Invasion. That will be listed on this. Tweakses. Interesting. No, probably. All right, so we're going to do this for 3 minutes, and I have a timer up. So who would like to go first? We're going to start from the low end, go 9, 8, 7. You can talk about whichever one you want to talk about more than anything. So like if there's one you really, really hate that you really want to talk about, that's what you can do. Or you can just kind of talk about all 3 of them. And then we will talk together for 3 minutes after the first round and see why we have things in certain places. If they're similar, we can talk about why we picked those. So, So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. Nzo, go right ahead. Time starts now.
So I'm putting Werewolf by Night on my list, so I'm gonna start with 10. The last and I think the worst MCU series is She-Hulk. I do think we'll all have She-Hulk as the last one because it just really was garbage, man. It wasn't funny. You had a court drama, which could have been very interesting, except for the fact that the writers are actually didn't know how to write courtroom stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that was a big issue for that show, and just the fact that it was not really good. I think the only part that I really thought was pretty decent was maybe when Daredevil came in. There was a few scenes with that and the little meta stuff they did at the in the last season. But other than that, She-Hulk is pretty much the worst. I do hope we do not get a season two. No one wants to see that shit. Um, Number nine would be Hawkeye. I wasn't
Okay.
a big fan of Hawkeye at all. I hated Hawkeye. I thought, you know, you're bringing in the Kingpin from the Daredevil series, but yet you have, you know, Kate Bishop was the one who beat him and doing it basically was the Kate Bishop show and it wasn't Hawkeye. You know what I mean? Even though she's probably gonna end up being the next Hawkeye, it just didn't work for me.
Okay.
And the next one we had was on my list, Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was kind of cute in certain places with the girls. She was pretty, you know, good actress, but the show itself just it didn't hit for me. I thought there was a lot of stupid things in that show. We talked about it, you know, where the cop the cops were chasing her and all of a sudden she went behind the car and boom, she was gone and no one knew where the hell she was after that. So I thought there was a lot of
Mhm.
stupid stuff in that show, but those are my bottom three.
Okay. Very good. All right, Danny. Let me reset the time. Huh. If I can get to it. All right. All right. Ready? Here you go, Danny. Time starts now.
I kind of feel like we cheating off the same paper because I got the exact three in that exact same order. Um, She Hulk was definitely a disappointment. What was really good, I think the way they did it when it first came on, they kind of used the live action song music theme. I thought that was really cool, and how she actually got contaminated. I thought was really cool. And then it kind of went south. Like they just pretty much made her just superior to the Hulk, which is crazy to me. Um, they got
Facts.
too funny with some of the stuff. How they did the abomination. He was just like he lost any kind of testosterone, any kind of fear he ever had in his body. Like they just say, okay, just drain that. And it was just silly. I thought it was kind of original how they did the last episode of her like breaking the fourth wall, but it just didn't. I think the idea, I get the effort, and the idea, but they did not stick the landing. The only cool thing about that was Daredevil. Seeing him, the fight scene and stuff, and I'm a fan of Charlie Cox. Seeing the yellow and red uniform live action was really cool. I've never was really drawn to it in the comic books when I seen it. I was like, don't look how bad the way they did it. The Walk of Shame was one thing that sticks in my mind. I know people refer to it as that. I don't know why they did that because it really wasn't funny, but some of their jokes just didn't hit. Hawkeye, I'm a big Jeremy Renner fan, but he just uh, I don't know what it was about. It just didn't hit for me. And then the fight scene, like I said, had an awesome kingpin, but they made him seem this like too indestructible. And Kate Bishop, at certain points, she was a little irritating to me. Kind of like how y'all feel about little boy in Shazam. I mean, Black Adam. I kind of got some of those from time to time. Um, it was okay, but it just really didn't hit for me. And then Miss Marvel has some good points and um, good key points, but like just some of it, the shows was hit and miss. Some episodes I liked, some I didn't. Um, I guess they and I always said it cherry picked, but her powers really wasn't like in the comic books. Was really far off from it. But we've seen that before. Like if you watch the first Spider-Man, where Tobey Maguire was organic, they cherry pick and they change things. I'm not saying that I hate it, and it probably looks cooler than the Bigham in big and power she actually has in the comic book, that probably look kind of cheesy because when they try to do Mr. Fantastic, is sometimes it doesn't look as good as I think it should look. So I guess doing that was a little bit more cooler because seeing the clips of the Marvels, it looks pretty cool what she's doing. Like she's gotten more proficient in her powers. But based on, I did not put werewolf on that, so I only got 9. But yeah, that is She-Hulk, Hawkeye, and Miss Marvel. For my 9,
Okay,
8, 7.
very good. All right. You're right. We're almost cheating off the same list. Mine's a little different. Just a little different. Time's going to start for me now. My list, and I pulled up the wrong thing. Here we go. My list starts, of course, I think, like all of us, She-Hulk. You guys both said it. I mean, just there were parts of it that's like, okay, cool, this is all right, but it just didn't have any direction. I mean, it really didn't go anywhere. At the end, they basically looked at us and said, "Oh yeah, none of this mattered. What we just showed you for the last 5 episodes makes no difference," and that is horrible. That's not how you run a series. It's not what you do. And I know they were trying to go for something fun and different, and the fourth wall break, like Danny said, those are all good elements, just not. It was very horribly executed. I mean, literally, it was. I don't know. I know you guys hate Andor, but is Andor above She-Hulk, or would you watch She-Hulk over and over again before you'd watch Andor?
I wouldn't really watch either one, but if I had to watch one,
Exactly. Okay.
just because of Daredevil, I probably would watch all
Okay.
of that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's on that level, I think, for a lot of people. It's like, oh God, if I had to pick between one. But anyway, She-Hulk just has that. Just wasn't done very well for all the reasons you guys talked about. Miss Marvel, um, again, some lazy writing, and it kind of went somewhere. That's why it's not the last one. It kind of had a point. There were cool parts of it. And it did have a vague direction to go. I mean, we know that it's going to tie into the Marvels at least. It's like you can at least find a reason why it's there. I'm not even sure if we know yet why She-Hulk is there. Maybe it's just because they were playing around with it, and they're probably going to do a World War Hulk movie, whatever they're going to call it. Maybe that's why they did She-Hulk. I don't know. But Miss Marvel, just not. It wasn't meant to go after our age group or our demographic, but it was all right. And then this one's where I differ from you guys, and I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but it's What If. There were some really good what ifs,
Yeah, you
but
crazy.
I think there were some really bad ones too. But the good ones were really good. The zombie.
Facts,
No,
Danny.
listen, you'll see what my next one is, and it was like a toss up between those two. But I put What If here. Like I said, there's some good things about it. I think season 2 will be interesting. I agree with Anza, who keeps talking about Ultron. The Ultron episodes were really kick ass, and we've seen Ultron in some of the movies, recent movies, and in that, I think they're bringing Ultron back. I think we've all pretty much surmised that happening. But yeah, that's what we got right there. So let's talk about this for 3 minutes together. She-Hulk, obvious. Miss Marvel, pretty obvious. And you guys think I'm crazy because of What If.
Yeah, I'm surprised you put it there. You'll see where I put it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed What If. I just think that there is a lot of other ones that were way worse than What If, man. Um, Miss Marvel, I think maybe one episode was pretty good, maybe two. She-Hulk, ugh. She-Hulk, you had this plot, abomination plot and everything, and he's trying to get the powers and create, and then she's like, wait a minute, is this what we're doing for the show? And then goes into the real world and completely just obliterates that whole storyline like it never existed. It was just,
Exactly.
it was just so, it was so messy. It was really a messy show for me. And then you had the what else did I say? She-Hulk. Oh, and Hawkeye. Ugh. Hawkeye, the biggest issue with that, it was more about Kate Bishop than it was Hawkeye. You know what
But
I
I
mean?
think that
I
was
think
by
it's supposed.
design.
Yeah, it was pretty much him passing the baton.
Yeah, I know, but you could have still did it in a way where he was relevant. You know what I mean? I think he wasn't even really relevant in that show at all. Like he didn't do much. So I was just like, you could have passed the torch in a better way to me. You know?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, but like I said, I don't disagree with your guys' list, and there's an obvious reason for that. Um, but yeah, Hawkeye though I didn't hate it. And I didn't hate What If, but it was like
What was your seventh one?
my seventh was What If.
So it was Hawkeye. It was
It's
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and What If.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's just, but I think that What If could have been better. There were just like the T'Challa one, just I don't think that worked out very well. The Thor one, I don't think that worked out very well because they'd already gone too far. What? Go ahead.
It was what, 10 episodes or 9?
What if I think it was? I think it was
12.
No,
shit. I don't remember. No, it wasn't 12. It was
Oh,
either 8 or
I
10.
think it was like 9. But I can tell you, I agree with you about the Thor episode. Wasn't good, and but I don't hate the T'Challa one. A lot of people tell me when he was Star Lord.
Yeah, I didn't hate that one either.
I mean, there's just parts
And
of it I don't think
we
worked
had
out too well.
and we had the zombie episode. Like, let's
The
not
zombie
forget about
one I
the
really
zombie
liked.
episode. That was
The Doctor Strange was fire.
the best one.
Okay, hold on.
Well,
just-
second best one.
Yeah,
And
but
then
they
and then when the-
incorporated that into
They had
Multiverse of Madness, which I think worked really well. There were some of those that worked really well, and yeah,
Then how the Killmonger was doing all that stuff, and
Yeah, it was good.
yeah, I thought
there were 9.
9 episodes.
I was thinking
Yes.
of 9.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to our next 3, and we will start with Danny this time. So, Danny, 3 minutes.
All
Next 3. Here you go.
My number 6 is WandaVision, and the reason I put 6 because the first few episodes really had me like, I don't want no part of this. I hate it. But then because you had a round table and then what you say, just give it a chance. And it did pick up, but the first few episodes kind of killed it for me. The next 2 or 3 was good. Then that last episode was a disappointment because there's so much hype. I will say that it had people's mind turning and buzzing because everybody saw little things here, or so-called Easter eggs, or fake Easter eggs, and that kind of stuff. So everybody, did you see the Did you see the design on the wall? Did you see this? Did you see that? You see the toaster, and so it had that going for it. But as far as the first 2 episodes, and I know it tied and it showed us why they did that, but I just didn't really care for that particular style. My number 5 is Moon Knight. I like Moonlight because I think that Isaac, can't think of his name, Isaac, the guy that played the actor that played Moon Knight.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac plays so many different versions of Moon Knight, and to me, I really wasn't familiar with it. And then when I saw it live in living color, then when we first seen him transform to Moon Knight and his power set, I thought it was pretty cool. So I know some people don't like it, but I like the way like he would like black out and turn to one version of himself, then black out to the other version, and then they fight with each other, and then at the end we see a third version of him. So I thought it was pretty cool. It was one of the most violent ones we ever seen on TV, on Disney Plus. So I don't have a problem with it. My number 4 was Loki. I really like the different versions of Loki when they went to that planet. It was the Loki we saw on TV, the cartoon version. I really didn't care for the alligator version. I thought it was pretty silly. I guess some people thought it was funny and entertaining. But Tom Middleton, he is a fantastic actor. I think he was born to play Loki. And then, of course, we saw King at the end, last episode. And then the Wilson guy, can't think his first name, Owen Wilson. Yeah, Owen there.
Mhm.
He always brings a certain um, brand of comedy and acting chops to the table. I like the chemistry between him and Loki, and I'm excited to see next season. Like I said, the bringing Kang was really something I think was unexpected, but the way Jonathan Majors did it was a very good job. So those are my next three: WandaVision 6, Moon Knight 5, and Loki 4.
Okay, very good.
Cool.
Alrighty, and Anzo, 3 minutes starts now.
Yeah. So a little bit the same as Danny there, probably in a different order though. My number, well, yeah, my number. Let's just say six for now. Should be seven because I divided 10. Would be Moon Knight. Um, Moon Knight didn't resonate with.
Uh oh,
Sorry, stupid cat.
no, you're all right.
There were a few episodes that just didn't resonate with me. There's some cool stuff in it for real, like 100%. But um, I don't know. There was just something that I didn't really like about it. Oscar Isaac Danny's is correct. He freaking killed it. He was the best part of that show, absolutely 100%. So I have no problems with that. The next up would be WandaVision. Like Danny said, the first three episodes of WandaVision, you could do without them. But I think it really picked up during the end. I know it had issues, but I think the best part about it, seeing is that it was the first one, we were just there like speculating about all kinds of things. I like that. It was fun. You know what I mean? I wish we would get something like that again. I don't think Marvel would do that again, but do it and then actually add stuff in there to where it's like, oh shit, they're really, giving people something to look at and check out. And then finally, we would have, which is Loki. Um, Loki, the series itself, had some really good episodes. I just didn't like the Sylvia thing. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
did, it drove me crazy. Again, this was another series where it was Loki, but it was more Sylvie than Loki's show. And I don't like when Marvel does that, right? I'm like, if you're gonna give us Loki. You can do some stuff with Sylvie. You can change, give her second billing, whatever. But the main focus should have been on Loki, and I don't think they did that. Plus, you know, we got that last episode where Jonathan Majors comes
Romance.
in and he just kills it. Like, I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. And to be honest with you, I wish we would have seen more Jonathan Majors throughout the series, but I was
Mhm.
good with that little final episode with him, and it made me want to see more. So
Love,
that's the reason why Loki
exciting and new.
gets that
Come
spot.
aboard.
It's Jonathan Majors, absolutely
I'm
100%.
so expecting you.
Ah, lovely, lovely. All right, and is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
So yours was WandaVision, or no,
No,
Moon Knight,
Moon Knight,
WandaVision, then
WandaVision, then
Loki.
Loki. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So mine, and again, the 7, 6, and 5 were all kind of toss ups. It was really close because I think that's really what you got. You got the two really bad ones, you got okay ones, and then you got really good ones. Or not, I won't say really good, but the better ones. Let's just say that. So my number
Six.
7, 6. Okay, 6. Yes, my number 6 is WandaVision. A lot of the same things that Danny mentioned, but it was I really liked it. It just when you're good when you build up so much, it was a tale of two shows. You had this build up, and then it turns out to be Agatha. Okay, great. It was Agatha all the time, whatever. And then it turns out that it's still Wanda.
And not Agatha. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you try to throw in the white vision thing at the last minute. I mean, I know they kind of led up to that, but
Which was
it
cool.
just
It
yeah,
was cool.
they had such great things they could have done with that, but it's almost like it felt like they should have had a mini finale like what they've had in the movies in the past. It felt like that's what it needed, and I understand we had COVID. There's a lot of things going on right then, and that is why we didn't get it. But they knew that was going on, so they should have just kind of scaled back and not pushed it so hard. So they're again, first one, they're learning. Okay, number 5, Hawkeye. Much the same reason. The reason why this is above WandaVision, though, is because they did bring back Kingpin, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is excellent. And so I think that was well worth the wait. We knew it was going that way, and we know it's going to set up the Echo series, and we know it's handing it off to a new Hawkeye eventually. There were things in this, and it brings in, Black Widow's, sister into it, which is going to become a bigger part. So it does tie in really heavily to the MCU. That's why it's up here. The next one is Moon Knight. Moon Knight, the way Oscar Isaac played it, I love that series. I really do. I still love it. I hope there's a season 2 of it, even though it looks like there won't be. I hope there is, or that they at least make a movie where he's in it and they continue the storyline of some sort. Not necessarily his own movie, just a movie of some sort. So those are my 6, 7, or 6, 5, and 4. 6, 5, and 4. So. Let's see here. 3 minutes, guys. Let's talk about this. You guys think I'm cuckoo again?
A little bit for your Moon Knight up there. And I get what you're saying. I think Oscar Isaac did kill it, but there was so many issues with that story, man, with the writing, where it just had me like, I don't know about this episode.
I ain't mad at Moon Knight. I think he got Hawkeye way too high.
Oh, Hawkeye is definitely way too high. Hands down.
Well, but the thing is I put it there because of all of them except for Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Secret Invasion. It is heavily tied into what they're going to be doing.
I don't think D'Onofrio really killed it. I think his actor was already established, but he didn't do nothing terribly crazy.
No, what I'm saying is to bring him back, as that was perfectly was the right move. The guy that plays Daredevil, to bring him back in it, that is perfect. But other than the fact that they're doing a Daredevil series, She-Hulk doesn't exist as any reason for anybody to be there. And we know World War Hulk, or whatever they're going to call it, Abomination might come back, but that's the only ties that they will have to anything in the MCU. Literally everything that happens in Hawkeye, everybody that's in Hawkeye is somehow going to be attached to upcoming things. So that's why it's as high as it is. It actually ties into everything that they're going to be doing in the MCU. So that is by default. I'm not saying it is a great series. I'm just saying that everything that goes on there will probably make, and we've said this before, will probably make more sense as the phases go along. It's kind of like a reverse of what Secret Invasion is. Secret Invasion is using what we already know and expanding upon it. Hawkeye is giving us setup for things we're going to expand upon later on. That's why I put it where I put it.
Yeah. Hawkeye was still garbage, though.
Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to convince you guys that it's great.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? You had Kingpin come in there, he rips the door off of a car, and it's like, oh shit, okay. Then he gets in that room with Kate Bishop, and she fucking beats him. No, no. Kingpin should have wiped the floor with her. The real Kingpin, the one from the Daredevil series, would have wiped the floor with her.
And hopefully we'll have a little more explanation on that. Maybe he doesn't think.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he beat Frank Castle and the Punisher pretty good?
Yes.
Him beat Daredevil pretty good, right? Now, I think I would have maybe even put it up a peg if they had made it actually Hawkeye fighting Kingpin. And Kate Bishop was doing the stuff around there, the skating ring or whatever that was. Then I would have been like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. You know what I mean? But to have her be the one to do it, nah, That didn't work for me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go first this time around on this set. It's our top 3, and I'm going to put Loki as number 3. I liked it. I think it was funny. I don't disagree with what you said, Anzo, about Sylvie. They should have had it where since she was the anomaly, or at least that's the way we were led to believe, they should have had her constantly being chased, not being with him as much as she was. It should have just been a chase. And since they're doing a second season, you could just continue that. I know they're going to kind of probably go into that and continue, and she's going to get away or do something like that. But yeah, Wilson and Hiddleston, they work really well together. It worked really well. I don't disagree that occasionally Kang should have showed up beforehand. Like every time they went to a new place, since Kang is really the one that's kind of controlling this multiverse thing going on. Or at least in that series, it seems like he has it, and he may still have it because he's supposed to be the main bad guy. They should have used him, even if it was just glimpses of him or different variations of him. You know, they could have shown and introduced a lot of the variations really quick at the end of every episode or part of the way through every episode. Like, I don't have time to mess with you. I have other things to do. You know, something like that. That would have been perfect. So there were places they could have gotten better. Next, number 2, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was great. It worked really well. They worked really well together. It continued the Captain America storyline. And it really dove into Bucky a little more, the things he's having to do to keep himself going. And it's like, you know, Falcon is helping him. That's really cool to see. So we know that they're going to bring them back in the movies, and it fully ties into everything that they're going to be doing. And we got the introduction of Thunderbirds. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the introduction to that getting started. So that worked. I liked that a lot. And then, of course, number 1, just because of everything they're doing with it, Secret Invasion's number 1. When you get Samuel L. Jackson, you give him time and you give him a good script or good dialogue, he can make it kill it, you know. So, yeah, Secret Invasion's number 1 right there. So that's my top 3. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Okay, time starts now, Danny.
My number 3 is What If. I thought it was a fantastic series. Only one I really didn't like was the Thor episode. I thought it was kind of crazy. Not a fan of zombies, but the zombies was pretty fire how they did it. And of course the Killmonger and how they tied in the actual things happening in Doctor Strange, how they tied into there, being encapsulated in that little spear thing, whatever. And how the Watcher really was kind of playing possum, and he really was more powerful than the way he led to believe. I thought it was really cool. Of course, the guy that plays the Watcher, phenomenal actor. So I really like that. My number 2 is Falcon and Winter Soldier. I remember that first episode with the dog fight with Sam and going against the jets and stuff, and saving that guy in the helicopter, and then the first, I guess, black super soldier that went toe to toe with the Winter Soldier, and just all the things. Seeing the suit was very comic book accurate. I would just get rid of that head thing because to me that just doesn't work. Same with the Kid Flash on CW, it's comic book accurate, but it just don't work. I think they're gonna go with a mask or something, or just with the goggles or something. I don't like all the head stuff on the side, but it was very comic book accurate, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing Sam's version of Captain America because it's gonna be pretty cool to see him. And if I'm not mistaken, in the comic books, he didn't have a super soldier, but he had some kind of enhancement that made him a little bit more
Couldn't he
Uh,
speak to the birds? He could speak to
yeah, he
birds,
could
right?
talk. The bird was live in the real in the comic book. He had a live bird, and I think he had some kind of maybe power to speak to different birds or something like
Yeah.
that. I ain't gonna see all that because I like the robotic bird he has, whatever that thing he has. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm not mad at that, but I definitely like the chemistry between him and Bucky. It's really cool. Then we saw the Doja Malaje, how you pronounce that. A little bit of Wakanda in there, so it was very good. And then the guy that was playing U.S. Agent, he was really good. And then of course, um, Zemo was killing it too. So very good actors in there and very good characters. How they progressed that story. And of course, last but not least is Secret Invasion. Samuel Jackson, as y'all know, is one of my favorite actors, and he is killing it as Nick Fury. I can't wait till I don't have Disney Plus, but I have my other means, and so it won't be first thing in the morning I can see it, but I'll probably be able to see it around lunchtime, or definitely when I come back home. And I'm definitely ready to see that last hour. I think I sent some of y'all this morning maybe the theory on what was going to go on. Not sure if that's true. Everything always had a very good theory. If it
Yeah.
is, that's going to be very interesting to see. But that's definitely my one. Secret Invasion, I think, is the best show that Disney Plus has produced for us, the MCU. Number two is Falcon and Winter Soldier, and number three is What If.
I'll tell you one of the things that I really, one of the best things about Falcon and Winter Soldiers is it it dealt with something that a lot of people don't talk about, which is actually like this PTSD and veterans dealing with things that they've done and that's happened to them. And it did it in an offhanded way, but that's very much Bucky's story. And the way they handled it, I don't know. There was something about that part of that whole series worked out really well, I think. It's addressing a problem that's real without actually saying we're addressing this problem or this issue. And I thought that was really neat because I didn't think about it until I went back and watched some of the things, some of the series the other day, and I'm like, they're addressing this, and I think it's an interesting way to do it. So,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. So, what if Captain or Falcon Winter Soldier, and then Secret Invasion?
Yeah. That's my 3, 2, 1.
Yep. All right, Anzo, time starts now.
Yes, sir. So, um, if I were to do the Werewolf by Night, it would be
Mhm.
this one here. Werewolf by
Okay.
Night, I really enjoyed it. I even enjoyed the black and white aspect of it. I think it really worked with the show. And I love how they did Man Thing in that show. But that would be this, since we're just really not really talking about that, number three is What If, just like Danny. Few episodes I agree the Thor episode wasn't good, but man, the Ultron episode where he gets the rings and we see the Watcher for the first time and they see each other, that was fire. The Doctor Strange episode was one of the best episodes. That one, and um there was another one that I really enjoyed. Oh, the zombie episode. Those were my three favorite episodes. I liked the T'Challa one. I know a lot of people were hating on it and stuff like that. Didn't make sense what he would be Star Lord and blah 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 blah. Again, it's a what if, right? So
Uh
it could
huh.
have been anything. I think people are breaking it down a little bit too hard. Number two is definitely Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really enjoyed it. I think the again, it didn't feel like a series. That was one of my major issues with it. It felt like maybe it was supposed to be a movie that they just cut and said, okay, we'll cut it here, and then next week you watch this episode. But the things they did in that, giving us the original Super Soldier, the what's his name, Bradley,
Uh huh.
and all the talk about, Black Captain America. And I know a lot of people were talking about that too, but we already know that that would be a real thing. It would be an issue for a lot of people, if that were the case, to have a black man carrying the red, white, and blue. So his chemistry with Bucky, like Danny said, was really good too. And I'm very much excited for the next Captain America movie. I can't wait to see how he does as Captain America. I hope that it's one of those movies that does well in the box office, because again, if it doesn't do well, then we might not see him. And it will see him, but maybe not in a Captain America 5. So I hope that does well. And of course, number one right now is the Secret Invasion. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's on now. You got to go back and watch it to see it. I don't need to. I already know. I think it's well written. The show is amazing with their villains. Um, the things that they're doing in that show. Hopefully, we get to see, real Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury come back in the final episode. They just keep showing this trailer or a clip from the show where this Hulk looking scroll is like punching him in the chest or something like that. So if that's what they're gonna do, it's gonna be fire. But those are my top three.
Yeah. So basically, we have the same. All three of us have the same top two. So that's Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Secret Invasion. Let's talk about this role. So you guys both had What If as number 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Me and Daddy were pretty much on the same page. On
Yeah,
this
out
one.
of the 9 episodes, I can only remember one that I just didn't like, and that was the Thor. I just thought it was really super silly. And that's just going along with how his movies progressed and went downward from the seriousness of the first one, and the second one was a little more serious, but then the third one and the fourth one just went totally bonkers. So the fact that he was like scared of his mama and doing that, I just didn't care for it. I watched it because it was in the series, but I don't even think it had anything to progress the story if I don't remember.
Not really. And the Killmonger one, we can't forget that one. That one was really good too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he kills Tony Stark, and
Killmonger was like on a mission, boy.
yeah, that one was really good too. So
I think.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead.
think that the, like I said, like you said, Anzo, the Ultron stuff in that is really good. And maybe that is what I need to go back and relook at. I kind of, like I said, that middle area for me was kind of muddled because
a lot
of
of people
things.
didn't like that T'Challa because it made Thanos look like a chump.
Right.
He was like real passive aggressive or just passive. And did he get killed in there when he fought?
He did. He did. I think he died like twice in the series.
Yeah, trying to save them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died there, and then when
Ultron
and had used the Infinity Stone and snapped him, didn't he?
No, cut him in half.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked through the portal,
Yeah.
Ultron cuts him in half.
Yeah.
People didn't like that. But at the same time, I'm like, again, guys, it's a what if, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anything can happen. I was so.
And that's okay. So again, that middle section is based off of how well does it fit in what we're going to see going forward. What if is exactly that. They're what ifs. Now, if with Multiverse of Madness, more of that might come into play. We might see some of those things show up in a movie somewhere, because we all know the multiverse is fractured right now. WandaVision. We know Agatha's coming back. We're not sure about Scarlet Witch. She probably will be back. We don't know. So that's kind of like, okay, it's got maybe a little more to do with things because White Vision, I think I heard, is going to be coming back. But Hawkeye has the most to do with what they're going to be doing. And that's why I put it where it did, because I think any of those could have interchanged. What If could have very well been number 5 on my list. I know that's still not as high as you guys put it, but it could have been. And I think they're still planning on doing the zombie, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So, that would have been, that show's going to be cool. We know there's going to be a What If season 2. I think that What If also got a lot better as the series went on, because then they started tying in what they were doing. And then we did see Captain Britain in the movie, so there's stuff that they're showing.
Yeah,
I like.
It coincided with the Multiverse of Madness. So
yeah,
and I think we were talking about that on a show earlier. I think it was on is it the Storms Live or either Anzo's show or the Roundtable, that what Disney Plus should be doing is that their shows should be setting up the movies. Just like I think this
Mhm.
Secret Invasion is setting up the Marvels. That's how
It
they should
is.
do it, and it shouldn't. The show should, in my opinion, should be no more than 6 months. It should be 6 months or less to set up the movie. Don't show this show and then don't see the movie till next year. I wouldn't do that
Mhm.
unless like next year is 2 or 3 months away. But like now, we're gonna see the last episode in July, and in November, that is August, September, October, 3 months, 90 days. I think it's
Yeah.
November 1st, if I'm not mistaken, is the second. Then we're seeing it. In 3 months we're seeing it. So it gives a little time to kind of forget about it a little bit. But then you know, a lot of times people are gonna watch it again so they can be refreshed and caught up to the actual movie. So it's gonna kind of stimulate repeat watching.
Hmm.
So
Well, I don't disagree with that at all. Like I said, I think WandaVision is setting up things. I think What If we did see in the Multiverse of Madness. Miss Marvel, we know kind of did. Hawkeye has. Moon Knight's yet to be seen. Loki, we know, is going to work into this whole Kang part. Falcon and Winter Soldier, we know, is going to work into Secret Invasion. I think you're right. I think it's going to work into the Marvels, but it's also going to go to Secret Wars. It's going to be a mix between that. And yeah, in fact, I think the Everything Always that you're talking about, didn't he use Harrison Ford as his thumbnail as the president?
Who?
he used him as Red Hulk. I think he had Harrison Ford facing like Red Hulk body, if I don't remember from
Maybe,
that
I don't know. I
thumbnail.
think I saw that one, and yeah, I mean, you and I both, Danny, I think like that guy. He has pretty good information. I think he's pretty tight with that Disney community.
Michael
Um,
Ronan, I think is his name. Yeah, he
all
got.
fires, yeah,
Sometimes he's not always right, but most of the time he's in that ballpark.
yeah, no, for sure. I do like that. Now, how about this, really quick? How about the top three you believe have the most to do with upcoming projects?
That's easy for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Secret Invasion
Hmm.
is gonna have the Marvels. Falcon and Winter Soldier is setting up the next Captain America, which is gonna be sometime next year.
Uh-huh.
And then Loki is gonna set up um,
King
setting up
Dynasty.
the King Dynasty and stuff. So Loki too. If they get Jonathan Majors, because I keep hearing that they might not use Jonathan Majors, which to me is crazy. If the guy's exonerated, why not use him? Or
I think you have to.
maybe I think I think I heard somebody say that maybe it's going to be used for 1 or 2 movies, but maybe if they try to to try to renew his contract, get those 10 years out of him, that he got of a character. I don't think he's based on what the individual said. I don't know where they're getting the information, but I believe it was Guyscore that said it on his show Wednesday or maybe on Storm's Live Sunday. I don't know where he read that somewhere or whatever. But to me, it's crazy. If he's exonerated, then I would use him to the fullest.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
they
here's
will.
yeah. If they exonerate him, here's the thing: they brought James Gunn back to
Exactly.
do Guardian of the Galaxy, and there was more things that he is guilty of. And for Jonathan Majors just to get basically brought into court, which is his right as a human being to go to court and defend himself, and then come out of it being exonerated. If he's exonerated, that what's your excuse for not having him there? I mean, that's how I look at it exactly. So yeah, Anzo, the
Yeah.
three you think have the most to do
Um.
with the upcoming?
Well, I agree with Danny. But I'd also put Hawkeye in there too, because most of these shows are setting up the Thunderbolts, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's another setup too, because you have Kate Bishop who's supposed to be a part of the Thunderbolts. Then you have Valentina Chick who's supposed to be a part of the Thunderbolts, and Ross. So that's another one too as well that I would add to that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would say, and this is my point for bringing up that question. When this first started, I think a lot of us go like, "Well, what's this got to do with anything?" We thought that a lot of this would be one-off stuff, just to kind of give us extra stuff to watch. And the farther we go into these phases now, it actually looks like okay, maybe there was a plan here. I I don't feel that this setup to get to the King dynasty is as good as the Infinity War setup, but
I think
I
that
can see how it could become as good. I mean, I'm starting to feel better about this every time something like Secret Invasions come out or something else, because I think they really are working the Thunderbolts, all that stuff. So yeah,
I think it's going to improve because COVID they had to kind of rush stuff
yeah,
to stay on the par and keep and stay relevant and stay in the game. Now that these writers block, that's giving Kevin Feige a little bit of time to take a breath, do it slow, and then kind of make sure that things are actually tied together. That there is connective tissue. That okay, let's do this now since the strike is here, and let's fine tune it. I think the writer strike is a good opportunity for them to fine tune things and then let things make sense because when they had COVID, they were just rushing to put material out. So
yeah,
the money that they were losing by not being in the big screens, they were trying to recapture some of that. Maybe not the money per se, but they were trying to stay relevant and trying to stay in people's minds. Say, look, hey, let's keep doing this, and this. Don't forget about this. They were trying to keep momentum during COVID, and now in the, by keeping momentum, I think some of the quality went down. So I think now, because of the writer strikes, they're trying to improve on the quality and kind of slow down on the quantity.
yeah. No, I think that COVID really kind of put a damper in a lot of things. I think if COVID hadn't hit, one, we wouldn't be rushing through the movies. Two, we wouldn't have rushed to this, and I think we would have gotten more what you were talking about, Danny, which is like series,
Yeah.
3-6 months down the road movie that correlates to the series, because we know they moved a lot of stuff around.
Disney Plus, in my opinion, should be having old nostalgia movies and stuff that people want to see and cartoons and that kind of stuff to bring back like the Saturday morning vibe. But
Yeah,
the primary job should be setting up these movies.
for sure.
I think that's what they're doing. I think they are setting up the movies because, again, these shows are basically, to me, they're all setups. They've all been set up for movies, right? The Thunderbolts, you're going to have Falcon and Winter Soldier. And like that video you sent, I do believe that this is the beginning of Secret Wars, Secret Invasion. It's not the end of it. It's not
But
going to end, right?
what set up Eternals? I mean,
But Eternals was a show, not a was a movie, not a show.
yeah, but I'm saying what show set up Eternals?
Well, it's not about what show set up
Uh,
Eternals, but I think these shows are setting up other movies.
well, a couple things kind of tie into Eternals. One is Dormammu, because he's I don't know if he's not a celestial, but he's in stuff with the celestials occasionally. And then Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is in that line of people too. So those things are a part of that group. So it wasn't set up necessarily that great, and there is a lot of unanswered questions about that. But I think we're starting to realize that they're probably going to circle back around to that somehow. Not sure how yet, but I think they will circle around. It's just that was a kind of an interesting place to start things, or to kind of go, because like you said, Danny, there wasn't a lot to get us excited or understanding it.
And to be honest with you, like you guys said about COVID, right? The way the movies came out wasn't their original plan, right? Even with the shows, they had to switch things around. So this came out first and that. So I think that also took away from what they were trying to do as well, because now you got to switch things around,
Yeah.
make it make more sense. You know
That's
what I
what I
mean?
was saying. COVID made them rush the process.
Right.
I don't think the process would have been as rushed and as disjointed as it is now if it hadn't been for COVID. But now that COVID is now kind of behind us, now I think in this writer strike, I think Kevin Feige is now having time to kind of sort the pieces out and say, well, let's make sure this ties more into this, because everybody used to accuse Disney of or the MCU of lazy writing. They can't say that anymore with Secret Invasion. That is very good writing. The story there is no filler episodes that I've seen so far. Each episode drives you to the next. The cliffhanger aspect of it is on point. So I'm really excited about seeing how tomorrow's going to end.
And not only or they can't talk about the writing, Donnie. They also can't talk about the Marvel formula, right?
Yep.
Because this
Yeah.
show
No jokey
completely
jokey.
goes away from the Marvel formula.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
and I think all the other shows did. Like even Falcon and Winter Soldier had some Marvel formulas, spots, WandaVision. They all did. This one
Yeah.
does not.
That formulaic, if you want
Yeah,
to use that
Yeah.
word.
yeah. This one doesn't have it. So,
Well, again, I think a lot of that goes back to, like you said, the COVID stuff. Not being able, like, we know that they had to change a lot with WandaVision. WandaVision probably would have turned out a lot better had it didn't have to follow those issues. Um, I think a lot of these would have been a little better had it followed more of the formula. But again, they're learning here, and I think if as long as we see things that say, okay, they're learning and they're going in the right direction, which of course Miss Marvel I don't think was in the right direction. She-Hulk wasn't in the right direction. But if you go over this list, more of these than not were pretty good, or at least
mhm.
good enough to watch. And now they're starting to make more sense because the movies are starting to incorporate stuff in it. Like I said,
I'm cool with
what
the top
if?
seven. Just
Huh?
8 and 9. I'm
Yeah,
cool
me
with the
Oh
too.
top
yeah,
seven. 8 and 9. I don't think I'd watch again. I definitely won't watch Hawkeye ever again.
Me
I
neither.
may watch She-Hulk just for the Daredevil aspect of it.
well, I mean, I think if Hawkeye gets tied into the new Daredevil series and it gets tied into the movie as well, I think it'll make it better. Miss Marvel, I could almost say the same thing too. Once the
I
Marvels
don't
come
know if
out,
I.
maybe does something to help
I
that. I
don't
don't know.
think I'll watch Miss Marvel again either.
Me neither.
The ones
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know.
I watch again is Secret Invasion. I watch Falcon Winter Soldier. Some
Yeah,
episodes of What If. Loki. Moon Knight I would watch again. Some episodes of WandaVision, but Miss Marvel, and maybe not WandaVision either. I don't know if I watch it
no,
again. Maybe,
I don't.
maybe the last episode or two. But
Hmm.
those four, 6, 7, 8, 9 on my list,
Yeah,
I probably won't ever watch again.
I think Secret Invasion, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and I know those for sure. Well, I know for sure Secret Invasion and Captain Winter or Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those two right there, they're well worth a rewatch. Moon Knight, I think, is worth a rewatch because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think a rewatch will help understand it a little better.
Yeah.
Um, Outside of that, I mean, and what if? Yes, I think what if I went back and watched it now with what the Multiverse of Madness did, I think it will play better. Because hey, like you said, the Doctor Strange one in there, that whole part is basically in there.
Yeah,
The part where the music scene where they're fighting back and forth, the music scene,
yeah.
that is that Doctor Strange.
Yep.
So he ended up in that dimension. So that is the cool thing right there.
Mhm.
Um, and I liked that episode anyways. I thought that was one of the best episodes too. So all right, guys. 58 minutes, 58 and a half minutes. We got through that.
Yep.
Um,
Good timing.
yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, we know
But
he only got like 2 minutes left. Donnie.
no, I'm going to sleep because I got to be up again like at 3 a.m. So
Yeah.
Like this right here, Nzo.
mm,
Yeah, for real, for real.
uh-uh. No.
I'm with you on that, Chris. I'm sleepy. I'm with that. As soon as you say peace, I'm straight to the bed.
Yeah. So let's go around and have you guys talk about your channels one more time. Danny, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
I am Danny AK Comment Chat. You can find me Mondays through Thursdays on my channel. It's called the Encouragement Series, where I do a word, quote, and scripture of the day. Tomorrow will be stubborn, so please tune in. You can find me on this channel with these two guys on every Monday night, or at least 3 Monday nights out of the week, sometimes 4, depending on our schedules. And then Wednesday night, you can find me on Nzo's show, depending on how inflammatory his topics can be. Sometimes them things be white hot, and I can't handle it. And of course, Guy Scar Show to hang out. And then on Sundays, you can find me on the Round Table, which will be the last one for this particular series, Secret Invasion. And at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be on Storms Live.
All right. Anzo, go ahead.
Yes, guys, Biggaford Entertainment. As you know, tomorrow night will be the OOC. Wednesday night, we'll be doing the final episode of The Walking Dead, Dead City. And then we'll be back on Monday for, well, no, I think we'll take this Monday off, I think. And then next Monday for Danny's. I'm not sure, whichever one we do for Danny's show. But you guys know where to find us, anyways, you know?
First Monday of the month, people.
Exactly. You know where to find us.
All right, guys. I am Chris Knight, Real Review 3000, Chaos Central, Star YT, a lot of stuff and a lot of things out there. So, guys, check it out. Make sure you check out Danny's encouragement series. It's really good. Check that out. Spread the news about that, too, if you see a tweet come across or whatever the hell they're going to call it now. If you see it come across,
his names? That didn't make any sense.
he has a fascination with X and
He just call them Twexes instead of tweets.
Yeah.
No idea.
Something. I don't know. Anyways, but guys, check out these. Yeah, check out these guys and check out the final Secret Invasion roundtable this Sunday at 8:30 Eastern Time. With that said, guys, everybody have a good night. Peace.
Peace.